Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of Palantir Technologies, ticker symbol PLTR. And so here I am recording this on Tuesday, July 2nd, after the market has closed, and Palantir closed at a price of $25.83, being approximately flat on the day, coming down only about 5 cents. And yeah, I think that the chart is looking pretty interesting. Big picture, I think we are testing a pretty important level, and I do think that there is a lot of upside in the long-term future, but I do think that we have gotten to a level that might be suggesting there will be a little bit of a pullback, and so that could be a good dip buying opportunity in the next couple weeks or so. And so yeah, I just wanted to go over the levels that stand out to me. And so basically all the lines that I have drawn up here, I have gone over in prior videos, but I did gray out the ones that are not so important just to keep kind of the clutter to the downside. But I did have some levels here still in color that do stand out. And so one of those is this purple line, which was this neckline for this head and shoulders pattern here. Price is trading just above that. Also, I have this red trend line based on these two pivot highs over here, again, trading above that level. And I do have also this white downtrending level, which is based on these two pivot highs. And it looks like we did bump into a little bit of resistance when we got to that level, pulled back a little bit before launching higher, then testing it as support, and then of course continuing to the upside where we are at now. And so I feel like something like that is happening. I'm going to draw up a line in just a second, but I did want to point out that when price came up to here, that was right around the 236 from this Fibonacci retracement here, going from the low hit on February 2nd, coming up to this high here of 2750, hit on March 7th. And so that 236 is at a price of $24.79. Got one close above that level, but then quickly gapped down following it. And we have kind of been testing that level. And with these two lines, the purple and red lines being just above that, I'm wondering if we will be pulling back to the 236. So, right around $25, a little bit lower, $24.79. But also, noticing this downtrend, that does seem to coincide with the 382, which is at a price of $23.12. So I do think it is possible that price does pull back to those levels. And so I just wanted to throw that out there as, being possible dip buying levels. But so just looking at the candle here for the day of July 2nd, we got a pretty big wick up. And, a close at the open, I believe. Let's say open at 25.84, almost to the penny close at that price. And so looking at this pattern, that is a gravestone doji. That does suggest a reversal, partly because we see this big wick to the upside, which represents more than 50% of the trading for the day. And then we did get a close in the bottom quarter of that trading. So that suggests there are not enough buyers to be pushing the stock price higher. And also, if we look at the high from July 1st, so on Monday, that high was at 2602. We could not close above that level, so it does suggest there is some weakness there. Also, with this high hit here on June 20th at a price of 2657, we are potentially forming a double top. So with that, like I said, I think that price could be coming down. Really, like worst case scenario, at least in the near term, about $23 a share. Could also go lower if it does show some weakness, but I don't really think, at least in the time frame of a couple weeks, we're going to be looking at anything lower than that. And so the reason why I think price might be coming down is really just based on the same concept here as this downtrending level. So if I do the exact same thing, drawing a line from the high here, 2750, if I draw a line from there to this high that was hit on June 20th. And so looking at that, today it looks like we got rejected exactly from that downtrend. Kind of like how over here we got rejected from the downtrend and then pulled back to a Fibonacci level, $23.12, actually hitting a low following that of $22.84. So wicking below it, but not closing below that 382 level. And so I could see price dipping down to, like I said, the 236. That actually seems most realistic. However, since we would be putting in a double top here, maybe that is a little bit more bearish than just this little pullback. And maybe we would be coming back to the 382, testing that level as well as this downtrend, but then acting as support. So I could see that. So if over the course of the next week or two, maybe over the course of July, maybe we see a pullback to that level, I think that could be a great dip buying opportunity. And so the reason why I think that, I actually have to take a step back, switch over to the weekly time scale. And in order to, show this picture, I'm actually going to remove my drawings just for a second. And so what we see here is, we've got this big kind of, bowl here with this handle, or you could view this as a cup and a handle. You could also view this as kind of like a little micro shoulder. We got another shoulder over here. So this is kind of like an inverse head and shoulder pattern. And so, now I'm going to throw the drawings back up there. And we can see that the high that was hit over here was 27.50. That is a pretty nice match with the high over here. We saw a high of 27.11 before we dipped down, but I'm just going to use 27.50 as kind of an approximate neckline. And so what we can do is take a measurement from the base of the head here, or really the top of it. It is an inverted head and shoulders. Take a measurement up to right around 27.50. That measurement, we can get an idea of where price might be going to the upside. And I should note that here, this time frame is about a year long, but the upside is almost $22, so pretty massive there. And so to do this measured move, we would simply take that, move it up to the neckline, and that is an approximation of where price could be going over the next year. So, this is not a short-term move. We are looking at the weekly candles and considering the time frame that we saw here, getting back to that neckline. This could be a year-long process, but that could be bringing price up to right around $50, so nearly doubling from current price. So, I think that the chart of Palantir is looking really, really good, but I still think that there might be some dip buying opportunities before we really start to break above 27.50, getting into the 30s, 40s, and getting up to right around $50. And that represents actually, from current price, we're a little bit lower than this. Right here, as I've drawn this, that's about an 80% move. So we're looking at more than an 80% move to the upside. But again, of course, this is going to be taking about a year for this move to be carried out. So do pace yourself with that. And if we do flip back over to the daily time frame, think about, as we are pulling back, those might be the last good dip buying opportunities. But if we do break below $23, we do have a convergence of levels over here. This one being right around $22 a share, corresponding with the high here hit on November 21st, 21.85. If we do break below 23, 22 might be a great dip buying level as well. And then we do have these other levels to the downside, but I'm not even going to suggest them because I don't think that the price is going lower than 23 right now. Even with gaps to the downside, I think they have been and they will be left behind. So I think that the chart looks great as long as we can break above this downtrending level, which I think will happen by the end of July. So I would look for that. But those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.